What's up, guys? This is the Honest Outlaw here, and today I've got something pretty cool for you. Today we are going to be talking about the new Galil Ace. This is, at least in my knowledge, the newest iteration of the Galil series. And it has a lot of features and upgrades to this that make it a very viable combat rifle in the modern day. Features that I think improve upon a system that was already pretty good, but certainly could have used some updates. Before we do that, I want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because you guys can afford this gun. I bought this gun with the Patreon dollars at Mr. Guns in Waterloo. I always talk about that I buy guns from there, but I don't really explain why. Number one, it's a local company. Number two, they're super pro Second Amendment. And number three, they have a lot of guns and a lot of selection of certain guns, including like guns like this, like tactical guns that most people don't carry anymore, that they proudly carry, along with all kinds of other cool stuff like BCM grips and shit like that. So if you're in the Waterloo area, do me a favor and check out Mr. Guns. They didn't give me this gun. I just like them so much that I want you to go down there and check them out. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that you should go to the Patreon link in the description, and you should go to the link for the local homeless shelter. If you don't go to Mr. Guns, you don't go to Patreon, that's fine. But go down to the YSS. It's a link in my description. It's a youth homeless shelter. Those kids could use your help, so go down and donate to those kids. Now, we'll get back to the Galil Ace. So this particular Galil Ace is a 5.56, but they actually have variants of this that have 5.45. They're chambered in 5.45, which is the AK-74 caliber, and 7.62 by 39. And the reason why it kind of looks like an AK and it is chambered in AK calibers along with 5.56 is because originally it was based on the AK. So the Galil was introduced by IWI quite a while ago after, I believe, the 7-Day War, where they were using FALs. They didn't like them, but their adversaries were using the AK. They liked the AK, but they wanted it with more modern features and 5.56 caliber. So they created the Galil based off the Valmet and the AK, and that is basically a 5.56 AK with a bunch of different cool features, and essentially so is this. Kind of the ultimate version of the AK. We have here a left side charging handle, though, which is superior design to the AK in my opinion. You can also see that the track the charging handle runs through is almost completely covered, which would help you out with dust, debris, things like that, which is what this gun was designed to defeat. Also, it has a new short throw safety on it on either side, so if you want to run the safety, you can run it down here like an AR, which is really nice. You could do that on the first model of the Ace, but the throw on this is a lot shorter, and it is ambi, so you don't have to worry about the right side safety on an AK, which most Americans hate, and me included, sadly. I love the AK series, but that safety I'm just not vibing with. So I'm excited they went with a different design. Now we have an ambi magazine release on both sides, and the gun does take PMags, which is pretty sweet because I don't know anybody who doesn't have at least a few PMags. So 5.56 magazines in the gun, or 7.62 or 5.45, whichever one you choose, will work with that as well. We have a superior trigger in here to the standard Galil. It's a 2-stage trigger, and then some of the other changes they made for the Gen 2 are going to be it uses an AR buffer tube system that does fold, because just like any other AK, it can run with the stock folded, which I like that a lot, especially if you're doing a lot of CQB stuff or you're in and out of cars, stuff like that, and you had to pick this up and fire it through a window or something really quick, you could do that, whereas an AR has to have the stock folded out if you do have a law folder. Another thing that they added to it is going to be this very large M-LOK rail. The originals come with quad rails. Even most of the military guns that are being shipped with quad rails. However, the newest version that you can get has the M-LOK rail. One downside to the M-LOK rail is it is gigantic. It is very wide and even bigger than something like the MCX or MPX. I like that because I'm a big old ogre, but that's one thing you might have to consider when you actually get into the gun. Now, the short stroke gas piston design is extremely reliable. These guns are known for being extremely reliable. So I have no doubt that it's going to function my standard PMC 5.56 today. That being said, we're going to try it anyway because it's going to be some fun to shoot it, and we might learn some things about the ergonomics of the Galil that maybe you didn't before. Now, one thing I did want to mention before we go out and shoot is the biggest downside I've seen to this rifle since I've got out of the box is that it is a man's gun. As configured, we weighed this on my scale, and it was 8 pounds 12 ounces, something like that, so almost 9 pounds. Now, if you're not familiar with rifles and you don't know how heavy that is, this is a 5.56. It's actually 1.5 pounds heavier than a SCAR 17. So take that for what you will. This has the 13-inch barrel, and as well as the Scar 17 is a 308 that has a 16-inch barrel. So it is a hefty mother, but it is a little bit lighter than the Gen 1, telling you how fucking heavy the Gen 1 is. But I'm still pretty excited to shoot this, and I imagine the added weight will help out a lot with the recoil of the gun. I doubt there will be any, if at all. Now, some of the other things I like about the gun before we go are going to be the pistol grip. Now, that is not compatible with AR grips like it is with AR stocks, but the grip still feels very good. It feels a lot like kind of an MOEK grip to me, like it's a little more vertical, and it does have a short reach trigger, which I don't like with my big fingers, but I can make that work. And then we added a sling here. This is a Vickers sling from Blue Force Gear. I like it a lot, and I did kind of want to talk about the absence of a QD mount here. So when I usually run my slings, I like to run them opposite side on the stock or in the back of the gun here. I guess I was gonna say an AR part, but there's no AR parts on this. So QD mount here or here, and then I generally like to run them up front here, kind of simulating halfway between a single point and a 2-point sling. Whereas on this, you basically just have to run it in its standard configuration like old school, which I'm sure will work just fine. But hey, let's find out.
Okay.
That has got to be the longest goddamn reset on a rifle I've ever felt.
Okay. Good to know.
We're close already though.
Oh, thank goodness.
We're gonna go with that 0.
Makes life easier.
Yeah. Oh shit, we're not even supposed to be shooting steel up close, are we? Well, we'll shoot the cardboard target. Shoots pretty well. All right, so now we're gonna do a little CQB stuff. We'll just work about 3-yard distance, like home defense distance. We'll work this corner both ways. Keep hitting that fucking thing, trying to release the mag, the what I assume is the takedown lever. Now, one thing I do really like about this version is that last round bolt open is really nice. Now, what's interesting about the gun is that even though it does weigh, you know, somewhere around 9 pounds, there is a little bit more recoil because of that piston design. However, that's gonna be better for lots of things, including suppression and or extreme reliability. So it's kind of a give or take. Now, we got a Righton optic on here, which we're going to be doing a review on here in a little bit, and that seems to be working really well. That's just as clear, if not more clear, than an aim point, and it's clearer than a Trijicon MRO, so that's kind of cool. Wife told me to mention the gloves. These are Pig gloves, Pig Alpha gloves, and there'll be a link in the newsletter, so if you want to get some good deals on the gloves, just sign up for the newsletter.
On our website, HonestOutlawReviews.com. Also, your beard looks awesome because of the brace. I mean, the really? Stock.
Well, that's one thing that it's in the marketing with the brace, is that it will make your beard look better.
They should lead with that.
All right, so now we're out here at 100 yards, and we're gonna do some offhand shooting with the Galil Ace and see how it goes. Not great. There we go. Now, that 13-inch barrel is interesting. It's kind of controversial, but it's interesting. Good ballistics from that. nice and short package for CQB stuff. But what's kind of weird is it is classified as a pistol, and for an extra, like, I don't know, ½ an inch and then a pin muzzle brake, you can have yourself a rifle. So it's kind of a weird configuration, but I get it because you want that longer barrel to get the that potent ballistics out of that 5.56. So it's kind of a give or take, but it's kind of cool because most people go with like either a 10.5 or 11.5, whereas IWI went with a 13, and you don't get much more weight out front, but you do get a lot more ballistics. So interesting choice. So one thing I was explaining to my wife that's kind of interesting is I said it's kind of an AR safety, but not really. So as you can see there, fire is forward, safe is to the rear. So it's an interesting set of controls, but it does work well. So instead of kind of flipping it down, you're just pushing forward.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Oh. Heavy, huh?
It is. Okay.
So brace in, safety forward.
Okay. I can hit steel from here?
You can, yep. If you can.
Nope, probably not.
I thought so.
Alright, let's see if this helps.
There you go.
Apparently. I don't know if this is my bag, baby. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
And now that I got some advice on my shooting.
There it is. Like magic.
Wow, okay. God, you're good.
Oh, look at those beautiful pings.
Wow. You are the gun magi. Get you a wizard hat.
Slow down, pull the trigger slow to the rear. It's got kind of a long trigger. There it is.
Oh, this is not fun.
That was fun for me. I guess it's personal preference.
I'm out.
I was gonna ask the people if they're gonna take bets on whether or not that package of screws was gonna survive. You're kind of bouncing it forward each shot.
Was I?
Yeah, that's a well-made package of screws. So one of the things I like about the gun, number one, it doesn't come with iron sights because you don't need them. I heard a lot of people complaining about that, but the reality is the future is here, the future is now, and they're fucking red dots. But other than that, I like the 13-inch barrel a lot. I wish more AR configurations came with that because, like I said, it's kind of brave because you're like 1.5 inches away from being a pinned rifle, you know, with no paperwork, that kind of thing. But you're currently a pistol with a pistol brace with no paperwork, and pistol braces work really well as stabilizing braces, not a stock. Remember. Moving on from the sights, we got the red dot. The Riton optic so far, this is the second gun I've tried it on. I usually do 1,000 round reviews with rifles. I tend to do a lot more rounds with optics because it's just easier to do optics reviews than it is a gun because, well, you do the optic review right along with the gun anyway. So when we get to about 2,000–3,000 rounds through this, I'll give it a full review. But right now, I definitely think it is a good buy. I like the charging handle a lot. I love the left side charging handle. I wish the AR came standard with that. I mean, I don't mind the AR charging handle, but I do prefer it on the side, so that's a big plus. The Galil also comes with ambi controls, which is really nice as well, also with easily the best AK safety I've ever seen. If you think of this like an AK instead of an AR, you get to really appreciate the controls because they're probably some of the most intuitive ergonomic controls of an AK. That being said, it's kind of a mix between the two, and they are a little less user-friendly than an AR. So one thing to keep in mind, they're kind of in between, although I do like them a lot, and they are a upgrade on any of the other Galils or AK variants I've ever seen. M-LOK rail works really well, although it is a big old fatty, so that's one thing you have to remember. And it is flat, so lights, lasers, all that stuff is going to mount just a little bit differently. That's just one thing to keep in mind. A2 flash header works really well in all situations, so it's a good choice overall. And the PMags worked great. Everything was super reliable. Ran 55 grain. We shot 100 rounds today. It all worked perfect. The grip felt great. The stock folded in and out, or sorry, the brace folded in and out just fine. And overall was very comfortable to shoot, but was very heavy. And to me, that's not a concern. But again, I'm 6'4", 210 pounds. For my wife, you saw there, she didn't shoot from the shoulder very long. She moved it to a point of contact, used something to brace it with. And that's how you'd mostly shoot anyway. However, shooting behind cover, shooting behind something, using supports, that kind of thing. However, if you do have to shoot this for long periods of time from the shoulder, keep in mind, it is a big girl. Other than that, the gun worked really well. The cool factor, the history of it, it's really undeniable that this gun has a good track record and will continue to. It's had plenty of military service over the years and probably will continue to. And overall, I think the latest generation is the greatest generation. Oh, I might as well mention the price. This gun comes around $1,600. And it is the best version of the Galil. If you're interested in the Galil, I would recommend this. However, one thing to keep in mind before we end the video is that you're essentially getting a 13-inch 5.56 that weighs 9 pounds for $1,600. So if you're not into Galils, if you don't like the short stroke gas piston system, if you don't like the controls, if you don't like the fact that it's kind of a cool 8K variant type of rifle, and you're just interested in a 5.56 gun, for your first gun, an AR would probably be a better choice, in my opinion. I mean, especially watching my wife shoot this, you can get in to a sub 6-pound AR, 7-pound AR for less than $1,000 that will do the exact same thing this will and run the same ammunition with the same magazines. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But if you already got the AR game down, you're interested in a Galil, this is a great choice. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.
Okay.
Get in and out of my fucking sling setup here.
Because I love these leaves, we've decided to move
because I
back.
look dumb as fuck trying to reload with my dumb shoulder.
I think you looked very good. Also, you just snotted when you laughed and it was hilarious. And I hope you can see it.
I told you today was gonna be a fucking shit show.
Okay.
I'm too tired for this.
All right.